My opponent states that phones can be used as calculators if you are having trouble with a certain math problem. Well, phones, you could use an actual calculator, and if you don't have some, most teachers that have some that you can borrow. Also, if you complete a math problem without a calculator, you might feel an extra sense of satisfaction. And if you are taking a test that does not allow you to use a calculator, you might be tempted to use the one on your phone and cheat. So if students need to use their phone in class to help them research, they could be more likely to plagiarize or use non-credible resources. Also, if you are taking a test that requires you to remember something, you could use your phone to cheat and look up the information. And if you need to do research or look something up, you can use the computers in the library or the ones in the computer labs or the iPads if a teacher will let you borrow them. And if you need to contact your parents quickly about something during school, you can use the phone in the office or anyone that are in most of the rooms if the teacher will let you borrow them. And if you want to use your phone to read a book, most teachers have books in the room, especially English teachers, that they will let you borrow. And plus there's an entire library full of several different books that you can choose from.
My opponent may say that cell phones in school are a bad thing because they're distracting, they can get lost, and they would lower your grades. But I disagree because first, just because we bring them to school doesn't mean we're calling people or being distracted by them. Second, if our phones are always with us, they shouldn't get lost. And lastly, we could turn off our phones or put them away during tests so we wouldn't be tempted to cheat and we wouldn't get poor grades.
Okay, affirmative closing.
The use of cell phones during class should be banned at Waukee South Middle School. They can take away your focus during class time and distract you, taking away your attention from the lesson. You could get stolen or lost because the school is big and you may never see it again. Also, they can lower your grade entirely. You might think a cell phone could be used as a calculator, but what is wrong with reading one? They have more abilities that cell phones don't have. The older you get, the more difficult your math is, and your cell phone calculator won't be able to help you. You might think a cell phone could be used for research, but the school has computers and iPads that work better. Some people read on their phones, but there's a huge library in our school that's full of thousands of books, and they're for sure one meant for everyone. Our last generation didn't have the technology to the extent we do now, but they did good in school and got good jobs. Teachers spend hours coming up with lesson plans and coming up with ways to teach you things. But when you text your friends and play games secretly, you are showing you don't appreciate their hard work. If we think about why schools were made, we know they were made to educate. Cell phones weren't made to educate, they were made for fun and to communicate. That's why cell phones don't belong in a learning environment. A learning environment doesn't involve texting your friends or playing games. It is for sure in your best interest to keep cell phones out of the picture when you're at school. If you spend your entire school career being on your phone, your grades could get horrific. Sometimes you don't need to get sidetracked by your phone, but we all do. Next time you are thinking about texting your friends while your teacher goes into boring mode, think about how if you continue this habit, your grades will be at risk. You might think, I could just slip past high school and I'll be okay, but what you should know is colleges check your grades and your behavior in school. So barely graduating won't get you into a good college. Without a college degree, getting a good job where you can provide for yourself can be extremely difficult. Now the question is, are you going to let a cell phone prevent you from reaching your full potential?
What we have presented to you today is evidence that we should have cell phones in school because we can use them as resources such as a calculator for pre-calculus. We can review the news so we know what's going on in the world, and we can use them for emergency contact so our parents know if we need to get picked up from school late or early. In a school as large as Waukee, we don't always have access to technology necessary for us to learn, but it will help us be prepared.